It was actually the summer before my freshman year of college is when I first was sick and diagnosed with Lyme disease by a general physician.
Do you have any idea how you might have gotten it yourself?
Just, my family lives out, like, in the country, kind of, so there's deer everywhere. We have dogs, so a dog could have brought it in, but I never had the bullseye rash. I never had, that's what they say. You have the bullseye rash, and that's how you know you have Lyme disease, but there's, I think, a crazy statistic that doesn't show for a lot of Lyme patients. So the bullseye rash is definitely not the only thing that can tell you you have it. And for me, it came in really severe migraines and extreme exhaustion. That's how I knew something was wrong. 2 years later, in 2010, I had a relapse, but a general physician was unable to diagnose it, and the tests were showing negative for Lyme disease when I was at the general physician. So I went through a ridiculous amount of different tests and different doctors all telling me that I was fine and nothing was wrong with me. And luckily I was able to find a Lyme disease specialist, and she was able to diagnose me with Lyme and other co-infections. We were in season, but it was at the point where, basketball wasn't even on my mind. It was more the fact I couldn't even sit through a class because I was so exhausted. And I remember even turning to my friend during a class and said, it's hurting me to breathe right now. I just felt so sick and so tired and exhausted. Basketball wasn't even a thought. There was no way I was going to be able to play or do anything physical for a long time until I got healthy again.
How did your coaches in the school handle all that?
Back then, Lyme disease wasn't on the radar as much, and people didn't understand chronic Lyme or that you could relapse from Lyme. So
right.
A lot of people didn't understand it and weren't sure if it really was Lyme disease. You hear from doctors that you're depressed and need to get on an antipsychotic or something like that. So it was really difficult for me to not only be feeling so sick and so terrible, but having people not believe that I was telling the truth about it.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, it's terrible. You're already feeling sick, and then to have people not believing you makes you even worse, It's exhausting to have to defend yourself that you're not feeling well. So that was just probably the most frustrating thing I had to get through. And luckily I was finally able to find a specialist who heard me and, understood me and listened to my symptoms and had a plan to get me better. So that's what was refreshing.
If you don't mind me asking, what's your doctor's name?
She's a nurse practitioner. Her name's Rita Rose.
Do you credit her with helping you get back onto the road to recovery?
Oh, 100%. I credit Rita. Without Rita, there's no way I would even be playing basketball at this point in time. So she was incredible and was able to somehow restore me to health and get me to playing again. So I owe Rita a lot.
Now, before you got back on your feet, was your scholarship ever at risk? Did they ever say, what's going on with you? You can't play?
No, they never did that. So
that's good.
I guess my scholarship wasn't at risk, and they always had hope that I would get healthy and recover and be able to play again.
How long did it take before you were healthy and able to play again?
The first time I relapsed, that's when they didn't know what was going on, so I was trying to find a doctor who could diagnose me, and that took about 2 months to get healthy. It took me a month to find Rita, and then after seeing her for 1 month, I was able to get back on the court and slowly start playing again. But I wasn't full strength that entire season.
So what was your treatment? What did she end up saying you should do?
She put me on a lot of supplements, and I was also going through IV treatment at that time.
Was it just antibiotics, or was it
no,
vitamins?
Not just antibiotics, but tons of vitamins. So the antibiotics are one thing, but the vitamins are kind of what getting your body to, really get strong again and build you up and able to handle the antibiotics.
Oh, you still are
Yeah.
taking antibiotics?
Yeah, I'm still on antibiotics, which I know that's a huge controversy and all that, but when I go off of them, I relapse. So
Really?
at
Okay,
this
see,
point in
and that's what I
time,
wanted to say, because some people say that the antibiotics don't work for them. And
yeah,
if
and
it works
some
for
people,
you, it's important to say that it works for some people.
yeah, it works for me. And I think, maybe I'm a different scenario because I'm always exhausting my body and trying to make my body do things, that professional athletes do. And I'm always training and always, pushing myself to exhaustion. So maybe that has something to do with it.
Did you have any of the body aches that some people complain of? Is that
Yeah,
something
terrible.
that's part of your symptom?
That's one of my worst things that I experience now through relapses is the body aches and like the muscle cramps. And that obviously affects me when I'm trying to play.
Yeah. Have you had to sit out of any recent games or practices? I know you said it's been pretty good recently, and your off season has been great. But
in
your
great.
3 years with the Sky.
Yeah, last year was actually really bad. I missed 17 games. So I had a relapse. Okay. Yeah, I had a relapse last season and missed more than half of my season because of it.
How is the Sky taking it?
They're amazing. That's been really refreshing to have coaching staff, teammates, and doctors who believe in it and understand that it's an illness and it's a disease it's real. So they're really amazing with it. Anytime I need to, take a rest or take certain treatments or be away for a couple of days because I need treatment, they're fine with it. So they've been really supportive.
So with your treatments, are you taking part in any kind of clinical stuff, or are you still just pretty much doing the vitamins?
Yeah, right now I'm just, supplements and vitamins, and that's what's been keeping me healthy. So hopefully I'll be able to stick to that.
I know you said you had chronic Lyme, so you're still dealing with this right now.
Yes.
What is it
every
like
day
daily?
I'm dealing with it. I've been luckily, knock on wood, been pretty healthy this off season and this season so far, and hopefully that'll continue. The scary thing is, there's a day I could just wake up and feel awful, and at that point I know that I'm relapsing and there's really nothing I can do about it. So that's what's kind of just scary, but, it helps you live in the moment and realize that time is precious, and anytime I'm on the basketball court, it's a blessing. So it's kind of really keeps you grounded in that sense.
You've gone through so much to get where you are, and not just, the regular stuff where people have to, beat the odds to become a professional athlete. You are dealing with a serious illness at the same time. If you had to explain to people, why you decided to take this head on and become a spokesperson for Lyme disease, tell us about that.
Yeah, I have a spotlight, and, when you have the spotlight, do something with it. And Lyme disease has affected me in so many ways, and if my story can somehow help somebody who's feeling really sick and not really sure what's going on, or direct them on the right path to getting healthy, then I want to do that. And not only do I want to, raise awareness, but also hopefully give people hope who aren't feeling well at this point in time, and realize that, hey, there is a professional athlete out there with chronic Lyme who is able to continue to play and try to achieve her dreams. So if I can also, give motivation to those people who just are feeling awful, then that's another thing I'd love to do.
Are you surprised to hear about how bad it is on the Delmarva Peninsula?
I am. It's scary to see how many people are affected with it, or, there's so many times I'll hear someone who's like, someone in my family has it, or a friend has it. It just seems like it's spreading, which is a really scary thing, because at this point in time, the treatment, the diagnosis, everything is so far behind and lacking that, there's going to be a ton of sick people out there if we can't figure this thing out. So, hopefully, people like myself and other people who have Lyme and also have the spotlight can shine a little light on Lyme disease and get people aware of what's going on. Lyme doesn't just exist in Delaware on the East Coast. I've seen it out in the Midwest now. I've heard about it on the West Coast. So it's everywhere. And like I said, it seems to be spreading more than ever. So it's something that all states need to be on board with.